Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the importance of farming during certain campaigns, but before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the current limited time quest Hellfire Enemy Suppression. I do recommend people to take advantage of this and just run it as many times as you can stomach because of the drop of Gladia Soul. However, if the LTQ is not your cup of tea, like personally I can only run it about 10 times a day at most, and I get really sick of the LTQ, the main thing that you should focus if you don't like the LTQ is of course going to be the urgent quest. Whenever that urgent quest over here, which is a Sign of the Planet Breaker D2 shows up, you definitely want to run it because you always get Halphinales and you always get Gladia Souls. As we can see over here, I actually already have 32 Gladia Souls as well as 15 Halphinales. However, I did use a large chunk of those Halphinales to craft them into Lux Halphinales. And this is a trend that Sega does very often. If we rewind 1 month ago, we had the Crimson Realm, and that was the only way to get a ton of these prog trials, which were used in order to craft your Giga Trials. If we look at the Giga Trial prices, you can see that they're going at 750,000 a pop right now. Now, a few days ago, they were going for even more. They're going for like 850,000, which was an absolutely insane price. But the reason they skyrocketed in price from 150,000 to 750,000 a pop is simply because you can't farm prog trials anymore. Now, I do remember in one of my videos, I was like, hey, maybe you can farm it in the Ordinal Tower. That is not the case. We actually tested this because, well, the enemies in Ordinal Tower is only level 90. So they don't actually drop the prog trial when you kill the Driverus. So it's actually impossible to farm for any prog trials to craft the Giga Trials anymore, and so there's actually no way to farm for this capsule anymore. So once the supply dries out, well, that's it, GG. Now, I do think that we will be able to obtain some more prog trials or Giga Trials when the LTQ, when the new one comes out, the solo version, so I don't think we're totally boned. Worst case scenario, we wait till December, and then through the whole festival, Genesis Festival, we'll probably be able to obtain a bunch of these through some other means. But this is something that Sega does time and time again. Because if we rewind 2 to 3 months ago, remember it was like impossible to farm for Dreadkeeper 5s. Well, they remedied that through a limited time quest and then basically just showered us with a bunch of Dreadkeeper 5s so that we can actually craft our Grand Dreadkeeper 1s and Grand Dreadkeeper 2s. However, there was a time period where we couldn't farm for Dreadkeeper 5s consistently. We were farming in the Gorge, we were getting like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 per hour or something, and it was pretty horrible. However, now we're showered with them again. So the point that I'm trying to make over here is it's currently super easy to obtain a bunch of Halphinales as well as Gladia Souls. You do not want to sleep on this, you want to take advantage of this, because later down the line, you know, Halphinales and Gladia Souls are going to be hard to obtain again. And this seems to just be a regular trend that Sega is doing over and over again, where it's like, hey, it's super easy to obtain Gigas Mass Days or something. It's like, all right, farm like crazy, get all of your Gigas Mass Days. Oh, then the next month, too bad, it's like impossible to get these. You just have to do it the traditional way, the regular method, which is a pain in the butt. So it's not as effective and it's not as efficient as before. I don't really know why Sega does this, but you know, I guess it's to encourage people to take advantage of limited time quests, take advantage of these special campaigns, and basically to encourage you to play at specific downtimes. Because I'm gonna be real with you, you know, this month is kind of a filler month. There's not really much going on, but it is a good time to stock up on some supplies and maybe farm up a bunch of Gladia Souls, bunch of Halphinales, upgrade them into the Lux Halphinales as well as the Grand Gladia Souls, and then when the prices go back up, just like the Giga Trials, you know, you could sell it for a very hefty profit. For example, if you farmed a ton of these Giga Trials back in Crimson Realm last month, and you were stockpiling a ton of these Giga Trials when they were 150,000 a pop, and then you're selling them now at 750,000 a pop, you know, that's a massive profit. this is a really easy way to obtain a lot of money. You know, capsules that you can never go wrong with are of course always the end game capsules. So for example, the Lux Halphinale, sure, the prices have gone down significantly, but I'm sure that they will go back up eventually. So maybe you want to upgrade now. Now's a really good time to upgrade for your Lux Halphinales. Your Grand Gladia souls, they've also dropped in price tremendously. These used to be stupidly expensive, now they're down to 1 mil a pop. Definitely a lot more affordable. So, you know, if you were still upgrading your armors and your weapons, I highly recommend that you upgrade your Lux Halphinales as well as your Grand Gladia Soul into all of your armors as well as your weapons, because the prices are so low. Now, if you've already done that and you're thinking of, oh, I need more money for balloon bosoms and other fashion pieces, well, now's a good time to farm for these, hold on to them, wait until, you know, the supply dries out, which it will in a month or two, and then you can start selling all of these for a big fat profit.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.